kick flow, the June version. So we already know how powerful dive kick flow cancel is. And when you have June, this gets even better. No height restriction on dive kicks, and we can flow cancel whenever we want. So if you start using the different versions of dive kick, you'll notice that you carry the momentum, and you can already see the possibilities for stuff there. Now, to remind people why dive kick downflow is so strong, even in June version especially. So the fastest dive kick you can get is like -18. Do the tech, you can cut that in half to -9. Now, let's just say top of the screen dive kick, -30. Or -9. Now, the accuracy of the frames in question, it's a faster and safer way to go about moving, so you have a little bit more control over your movement options now. A little bit of rules, just to mention, the one caveat with this is that you have to have a little slight delay in between when you dive kick and then flow cancel. You cannot plink this. The flow cancel will not come out, so just make sure you add a little bit of delay in there and you should be good. So, just to show how else powerful this can be is obviously -9 there, but you can act right away. So that's the regular version. That's the cancel version, so much faster, right? So you can start doing stuff like canceling your dive kick early and just kind of going low. You know, people naturally are going to be holding back while you're in the air, so start to mess around with stuff like that. And then, as you saw earlier, your dive kicks carry the momentum as well, so you can start even maybe getting into some situations like that. But when it comes to utilizing this as a movement option, some things to note is that it is expensive. It costs 100 flow to do. But you know, it can carry you quite far. Another tool to keep in mind for stuff like this, something people might not be thinking of, is downflow dive kick to reverse your dive kick arc, which can also be downflowed, so you can actually, if you don't like being in a situation that you're in, carry yourself backwards, maybe try and reset neutral. So, you know, you can start doing movement patterns like this, and you just got to keep in mind that whenever you downflow, you're going to be facing the other way, so that will affect the movement patterns that you do. But, you know, when you start getting more control over the cancels and then doing the reverse dive kicks as well, you can have a lot of control and even more freedom of movement there. So, now, how else do the fake dive kicks apply? Well, we can go based off of pressure that we've maybe already been messing around with. So we know that that's good. +9 right there, right? So you can do strike throw right off of that right there, or more pressure. So whenever you have people conditioned to start blocking stuff like this, if you do the same setup and instead of doing light dive kick, you do the heavy dive kick, they'll actually miss and go back to the same side. Now if you do what we've been doing, which is dive kick flow cancel, we open up more possibilities for the mix. You get the throw right there, you get the low, you get everything again. So that's pretty cool, right? But it's not quite the same thing as having the advantage of knowing your plus. That is just kind of a movement fake out. If your opponent is crazy or whatever, you know, they might be pushing buttons, you could get smacked out of that. So it's not quite the same as having a plus dive kick. But you might be wondering how else this can apply aside from just being a movement option. So if you can actually downflow, if you can return your stick to neutral and you're clean enough, you can actually get a button out before the dash actually finishes landing. So then you can do tridashes basically like this. So just to showcase how powerful this is, I was the farthest away that I could probably be from you, and then I was right next to you in +12 in a matter of seconds. So that's a lot of fun. And then when it comes down to, you know, applying that in neutral, you've obviously seen how strong that can be, but whenever you actually have some fluidity with the motion, you know, you can maybe start setting up stuff like that. So there's a lot of a player skill gap right there. Obviously, even just getting the motion down itself is pretty technical, but there's pretty easy ways to do that. So I recommend doing it like that. So you super jump, boost up, and then practice the input. If you get the medium there, then you're ready to move on to the next step, which is just doing just super jump. And then after you get there, if you want to challenge yourself even more and you're feeling cracked, you can actually do this from normal jump height. The heavy version is pretty hard though. That was medium. You get the idea, right? So, how do we begin to apply this practically as a pressure thing? So there's several ways that you can kind of already just set up all this stuff off of regularly, right? Just built in his toolkit, just doing stuff like that. You can just run the regular dive kick pressure just whenever you want, kind of. But when it comes to doing what we've already been doing, which is mixing, with June, it gets even better because of this tech. So not only do we have the side switch, which gets better and less reactable because of June, we also get access to the same side variation. Like I said, you can do stuff like that, or stuff like that with the reverse dive kick. Now, it's really strong when we start actually adding everything up together and doing things like that. Now, pay attention to the flow cost, because doing all of these things, especially any of these pressure sequences, is extremely costly on your flow meter. It's very easy to unbalance yourself doing stuff like this, so you got to be careful. But you can make people block the thing that they've probably already been forced to block a couple times and guessed wrong on, and now you can actually just add in this other layer. So if you really just want to hit somebody and you have the flow ready to do it, you can go for stuff like this. Got the same side option. You can use the same side dive kick. And you have the reverse dive kick option right there. So that's just a little bit of what I've been working on for the past couple days. The options can go on and on. You can do this with corner steel stuff like that. So, I mean, the options are up there, guys. It takes a little bit of practice, but obviously pretty worth it to have. So June stocks just keep going up. Yeah. Have fun labbing, guys. If you guys make any clips out of this, I would love to see them. But otherwise, peace.